Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and speakers. We are blessed to welcome you to ASEAN Design Forum. This is the activity under program for promoting trade in creative industry. Through this forum, 2021 Good Design Awards winner from ASEAN countries can showcase their products to international audience, including Japan. It is also a chance for Japanese business community to gain knowledge about the innovative product market from this area. Today's program will be started with an opening remark by the Secretary General of ASEAN-Japan Center, followed by the remarks of the representative of Japan Institute for Design Promotion. Subsequently, 2021 Good Design Award winner will make presentations introducing their product. We are honored to have 4 winners from Indonesia join us today. The presentations are then followed by the Q&A question. Finally, concluded by the closing remark from Dr. Miftah Farid, Director of Export Product Development, Ministry of Trade of Republic of Indonesia. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Kunihiko Hirabayashi, Secretary of the ASEAN-Japan Center, to deliver his opening speech. Dr. Hirabayashi, please start your remarks.
皆様、春光天地に満ちる季節となりました。本日は ASEAN デザインフォーラムにご参加いただき、誠にありがとうございます。はじめに、新型コロナウイルスの長期にわたる感染の拡大で深刻な影響を受けた皆様に心からお見舞い申し上げます。新型コロナウイルスの世界的大流行は多くの人々の命を奪い、教育や就業の機会を激減させ、社会、経済、貿易、観光といった分野に大きな影響を与えています。しかし、このような時こそ、私たちの持っている最も重要な力、すなわち人々の多様性を互いに尊重し、業種、世代、地域、国境を越えて結びつく力を発揮する必要があります。私ども日本アセアンセンターは昨年で設立40周年を迎えました。当センターは日本と ASEAN の関係性やニーズの変化も踏まえ、日本と ASEAN 諸国との貿易、投資、観光、人物交流の促進を主な活動の柱としております。本日のウェビナーのテーマであるクリエイティブ産業あるいは創造産業は昨今の世界で最も重要でかつ活発なテーマの一つです。技術とデジタルの変革は前例のない速度で世界中で起こっており、経済活動において創造性と革新がより重要になっています。国連貿易開発会議 UNCTAD の2021年のデータによりますと、世界経済におけるクリエイティブ産業の貿易額は2015年に9640億ドルに達し、2002年の2倍以上になりました。さらに ASEAN はクリエイティブ産業の貿易において重要な世界的な拠点の一つになりつつあります。2003年から2015年までの間に ASEAN におけるクリエイティブ産業の貿易の平均年間成長率はなんと 11% でした。ASEAN におけるクリエイティブ産業の輸出額は2002年の93億ドルから2015年には230億ドルに増加いたしました。このような世界の潮流の中で日本 ASEAN センターは2017年度からASEAN 諸国のクリエイティブ産業を発展させるための様々な事業を行ってまいりました。例えば、日本デザイン振興会とともに グッドデザイン賞の審査、受賞のための支援、日本市場へ参入するための協力、さらに ASEAN 各国におけるデザインセンター、およびグッドデザイン賞の設立に向けて支援を行ってまいりました。グッドデザイン賞は1957年に設立された日本で唯一のデザイン評価・検証の仕組みで、デザインによって人々の暮らしや社会をより良くしていくための活動です。昨年9月には2021年度グッドデザイン賞の発表が行われました。私も見てまいりました。ASEAN 諸国からもたくさんの応募があり、その中で30個余りのデザイン製品がグッドデザイン賞を獲得しました。グッドデザイン賞はデザインの優劣を競う制度ではなく、豊かな環境や社会、生活文化に貢献する製品やサービスに与えられる賞です。本日のウェビナーでは、それらの ASEAN のグッドデザイン賞を受賞した製品と会社を日本の皆様にご紹介し、ASEAN のクリエイティブ産業と日本の皆様との結びつきを強められればと考えております。私どものこうした事業が皆様のお役に立ち、ひいては持続可能で誰一人取り残さない社会の実現に貢献することを期待しております。今後ともご指導賜りますようお願い申し上げます。
Thank you, Dr. Hirabayashi. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Makiko Tsumura, who will give a welcome speech and introducing the activities of Japan Institute of Design Promotion. Ms. Tsumura, please.
皆様、こんにちは。日本デザイン振興会の津村と申します。本日は ASEAN デザインフォーラムにご参加くださいまして誠にありがとうございます。私ども日本デザイン振興会は、日本で唯一の総合的なデザインプロモーションを担う公益財団法人でございまして、60年以上の歴史と実績を誇るデザイン賞であるグッドデザイン賞や、デザインの魅力と可能性を発信するグッドデザイン丸の内、東京ミッドタウンデザインハブをはじめとする各種のデザイン振興事業を実施しております。さて、この私どもが主催をしておりますグッドデザイン賞ですが、元は1957年に当時の通商産業省によって設立されましたグッドデザイン商品選定制度が母体となっております。当時の日本はまだ戦後間もなく、欧米のブランドのコピー品を作っては安価に輸出し、国際市場から非難を浴びているというような状況でございました。この状況から脱却すべく、日本独自のデザインに磨きをかけて、市場競争力をつけていこうと始められたのが、グッドデザイン商品選定制度でございました。スタート当時は一般からの応募はまだ少なく、当時の審査員が企業へ応募を呼びかけていたと聞いておりますけれども、だんだんと企業の側もデザインに注力することの重要性を理解し、グッドデザイン賞への応募によって自社のデザイン力を測るというような考え方に変わっていきました。今日までの日本の製造業の成長にはデザイン力の向上が伴っていたということは疑う余地がございません。そうしたデザインによる輸出振興が ASEAN 諸国の各国の皆様からのご注目をいただきまして、2008年にスタートしたタイをはじめとして、2013年からはシンガポール、2017年からはインドネシアにおいてグッドデザイン賞をモデルとした各国独自のデザイン賞の設立を及び運営を現在に至るまでお手伝いをしてきております。デザイン賞連携という制度も設けておりまして、各国のデザイン賞を受賞した者はグッドデザイン賞の一次審査免除、二次審査から参加ができるという仕組みになっております。二次審査を通過してグッドデザイン賞も受賞となりますと、各国のデザイン賞のマークと G マークをダブルで表記が可能ということになります。グッドデザイン賞の受賞の証であります G マークは、良いデザインを示すマークといたしまして、日本では 80% 以上の高い認知率を誇っておりますので、特に日本でのマーケティングに際しては非常に有効ですし、日本で認められたデザインであると いうことで、他の国々からも引き合いが増えたというお声も多くいただいております。このデザイン省連携は、最初はいわゆるキャパシティビルディングの支援という形でスタートしたわけでございますが、各国のデザイナーの皆さんはとても若く、スキルの向上のスピードがとても速く、そして何よりも時代のニーズや感覚への対応力がとても高いので、もはや支援という形ではなく、共に高め合うパートナーとして協力関係を継続しております。また、地域の伝統的な産業や技術を大切に守りながら、デザインの力で新たな価値を生み出しているというような意欲的な取り組みも多く見られまして、日本人がともすると忘れてしまいがちな価値観や視点に気づかせてもらうというようなこともしばしばございます。グッドデザイン賞の考えるデザインとは、単純に色や形が美しいかどうかということだけではございません。その製品がユーザーにベネフィットを与えているかどうかや、いかにその製品が無理なく作ることができているか、そしてビジネスとしてもうまく回っているかどうかという、そういうところまでも含めてデザインであると考えております。ASEAN の皆様ともその考え方を共有してまいりました。これから紹介される製品をご覧いただきまして、その製品の外観だけでなく、使い方や背景にあるストーリーにもぜひ目を向けていただき、その理解を深めていただければ幸いでございます。本日はどうぞよろしくお願いいたします。ありがとうございました。
Thank you, Ms. Tsumura. So from now on, we'll move on to the presentations from our respected winners. First, I would like to introduce Berkat Kriya Tritunggal. Please share the presentation material and start your presentation.
Hello everyone. Let me start by sharing this video. Okay, so let's start by us explaining what we do when it comes to our company. So our company, BioLiving, specializes in weaving for sustainable architecture and design solution. So what I'm saying about weaving is all hand woven. So we use master weaver to do architecture solution. And what we do is weaving customization for large scale projects with leading international architects and designers. And unlike any craftsman, we do a lot of research which use computer aided design and material technology development. Also, we use recycling waste and sustainable source. So these are the awards that we get from the past. And these are some of the exhibition or the award that we win. What you're seeing in the middle is our exhibition in Venice Biennale, which we won a special mention award in 2018. So as you can see, this kind of weaving system is not common, but in Indonesia, we use it a lot for buildings to reduce heat and allow ventilation. This is another media talking about our exhibition in Venice and showing our handcraft techniques and its effect on the architecture application. So about our work, we do a lot of rendering of architecture, design solution, and weaving pattern. So we use a lot of computer software and program to solve architecture solution. And we also produce weaving artwork, architectural element, interior furnishing, sculptural lighting, outdoor furniture, and design objects. And all of this, we do it in-house here. And we have quite a lot of master weaver to do that. And we also develop our own weaving material, research weaving technique from different kind of material, whether natural or man-made. So this is some of our early work where you can see contemporary house design. We use weaving panel to make the building cooler. While the weaving is used to reduce the heat coming into the building, but people from inside the house can see outside nicely. This is not like any other solution. Other solution, they use aluminum to block the sun heat, but it will block the view. But as you can see with weaving, it still open the view nicely. And we also do large scale project. So we don't only talk about smaller project. So this is one of the public market, the first ever done in one city called Tulang Bawang Barat. And we produce this kind of weaving for public market and government infrastructure as well. So as you can see, this large-scale weaving is meant to reduce the heat coming into the building while allowing ventilation. And at the same time, it helps to block the rain coming into the building. So not only the architecture, we also do interior, whether it's from a project like Hermes, where we use rattan to do this kind of effect, to give an optical illusion effect, while presenting a very nice, curated and well-crafted installation for retail, for luxury retail. And this is one of the panel that we use our computational weaving technique. As you can see, we can produce any image, even the like of this Hermes logo. We do it all in hand weaving. This is also another project where we use recycled Sprite bottle waste into outdoor furniture. And we also collaborate with the company like Toto to create their different type of bathroom fitting for different kind of usage, whether you could sit on the bathtub or you could put candle when you do the bathing. So not only we do a good amount of local project, but at present we do a lot of international project. But the one that we explained today is the one that is related with Japan. We are currently doing Four Seasons Okinawa and Kaban Hotel Hayama. With Kengo Kuma, the Japanese architect who's doing the Tokyo Olympic Stadium, we're doing some of projects with them. Aman Hotel, Katamama Resort, and another new project in Hotel Kyoto. With another Japanese who's based in Toronto, we are doing Jimbaran Bay Hotel as well. So this is what we do for Four Seasons Okinawa. As you can see that this panel is very uniquely created, customized specifically for Four Seasons Okinawa. And this is already installed in Okinawa at this time. This is the project that we do with Kaban Hotel Hayama. We do a lot of testing in Japan. And as you can see, all of this application is well accepted by the lab testing in Japan. And this is another project that we did with Kengo Kuma. As you can see, we do this very complicated curtain. There is curvy, and it's very hard to do this because normal curtain is straight, but our curtain, we can do it curvy, something like this. It can be folded as well. Yeah, so this is the ambience. And you could see this project in one of the magazine called GA House Magazine in Japan. So this is the model that we create for Kengo Kuma himself and presented to them. So yeah, because at the end we need to come up with some ideas what we could do together, and this is what I see from the outline that we get from the email. What we are proposing, as you can see, sustainable solution like we do is very well accepted internationally, and we think that is good for the solution in Japan as well, whether it's architecture or design solution for future environmental and sustainable projects. And we are thinking whether through this talk, through this collaboration with ASEAN-Japan Center, can we collaborate more to make awareness on future sustainable architecture and design with modern contemporary craftsmanship or hand weaving. We also would like to collaborate with influencers like Muji, Uniqlo, Rakuten, Docomo, Mitsubishi, Toyota, Onitsuka Tiger, Tomorrowland, or even like hotel group like Hoshinoya. Some of these names that I mentioned, we already have some collaboration, but if you could like connect us with them and do something nice about sustainable awareness, I think they would be nice. And what we also thinking, there are some important influencer in Japan that we could do design talk or exhibition in the future, whether it's Japanese creative like Kenya Hara, Mr. Nato Fukusawa, Mr. So Fujimoto, Nendo, Tadao Ado, Joe Nagasaka, Yayoi Kusama, or Nigo. So I think these are the names that would help to give an awareness that sustainable design still matter for the future. So to close my presentation, I would like to show you one of our initiatives in Indonesia to help the villagers.
Desa Bararawa adalah salah satu desa di Kalimantan Selatan yang wilayahnya masih didominasi oleh lahan gambut. Mereka percaya bahwa ekosistem gambut yang baik akan memberikan manfaat bagi warga. Salah satunya adalah tanaman purun di atas lahan gambut yang dapat. Desa Bararawa adalah salah satu desa di Kalimantan Selatan yang wilayahnya masih didominasi oleh lahan gambut. Mereka percaya bahwa ekosistem gambut yang baik akan memberikan manfaat bagi warga. Salah satunya adalah tanaman purun di atas lahan gambut yang dapat diolah menjadi bahan anyaman. Kearifan lokal inilah yang menarik perhatian tim pantau gambut dan Lim Masulin, ahli teknologi anyaman dari BioLiving Indonesia, untuk berkunjung ke desa ini.
Indonesia sangat memiliki potensi yang luar biasa, bukan hanya sumber daya alam, tapi kearifan lokal dari kerajinan tangan. Dari sana, saya meyakini anyaman bisa selalu dikembangkan ke arah yang lebih baik, menjadi solusi ramah lingkungan bagi masyarakat internasional. Purun juga tumbuh di atas lahan gambut yang subur, yang juga berfungsi sebagai paru-paru dunia. Prosesnya dari purun setelah dipanen, lalu diapakan sebelum dianyam?
Purun setelah dipanen dibawa balik ke rumah, dibersihkan pakai abu gosok. Setelah itu dipotong ujungnya, diratakan. Kemudian setelah itu dijemur beberapa hari. Setelah dijemur, ditumbuk, baru proses penganyaman. Anyamannya kan dulu tergantung motifnya. Kalau kami di sini bilangnya akum. Iya, akum, motif-motif dari anyaman tersebut. Ada mungkin bentuk naga atau bentuk belok-belok, macam-macam bentuk. Cuman berhubung dulu nggak laku lagi, lalu generasi-generasi penerusnya nggak belajar, dan sekarang sudah punah.
Kerajinan purun tergolong industri rumah tangga. Para pengrajin di Desa Bararawa dapat menghasilkan 5 hingga 10 lembar tikar purun per harinya.
Tantangannya apa sih buat masyarakat sini untuk terus menganyam?
Karena kendala dari segi pemasaran. Di sini yang dibeli cuman stiker dalam bentuk yang kami buat. Kalau selain dari itu tidak ada yang membeli. Jadi ibu-ibunya tidak mau membentuk bentukan yang lain.
Ibu-ibu di Desa Bararawa apakah peduli dengan lahan gambut?
Tentunya sangat peduli, karena dari lahan gambut kita bisa bergantung hidup. Karena dari lahan gambutlah purun ini bisa tumbuh dengan subur.
Sebagian lahan gambut di Kalimantan Selatan akhirnya dialihkan fungsinya menjadi perkebunan karena dianggap tidak produktif.
Bagaimana masyarakat sini mendayagunakan lahan gambut tersebut?
Bisa untuk perikanan salah satunya, ya kan, untuk peternakan, kemudian untuk perkebunan atau pertanian. Oleh masyarakat setempat, ini dari dulu udah dikelola secara arif, secara bijaksana, bahkan sampai sekarang mereka bisa hidup di sini, bisa hidup di ekosistem rawa gambut.
Peralihan fungsi lahan gambut dapat merugikan lingkungan, terutama dampak dari asap kebakaran di atas lahan gambut yang telah kering dan rusak.
Apakah ada contoh atau ada kasus di mana pengelolaan sumber daya ini dilakukan dengan tidak baik?
Tahun 2015 misalnya kan, pada saat kejadian luar biasa itu adalah asap. Ternyata pasca atau setelah banyaknya izin-izin korporasi misalnya kan skala besar, terutama untuk perkebunan monokultur skala besar. Karena biasanya perkebunan atau tanaman kan perlu media tumbuh. Salah satunya adalah tanah. Nah, karena selama ini kan ekosistem rawa gambut kan agak basah. Jadi perlu dikeringkan. Akhirnya proses kanalisasi yang bikin kanal ini yang bikin kering. Kalau kita keringin kita misalnya kan gambut jaga kita juga harus jaga gambut. Karena salah satu yang tersimpannya gas CO2 itu banyak yang menyerap adalah gambut. Kalau gambut ini dirusak, apa jadinya? Kalau kita masih ingin menyelamatkan bumi ini atau generasi kita, salah satu tugas kita bersama adalah menyelamatkan ekosistem rawa gambut.
Harapannya ya semoga dengan anyaman purun kami ini bisa setelah pelatihan ini mungkin lebih bisa berkembang, lebih bisa berinovasi, dan mungkin lebih bisa meningkatkan taraf perekonomian di desa.
Melestarikan gambut bukan pekerjaan yang instan. Diperlukan kegigihan, kesabaran, dan kerjasama dari seluruh pihak. Semua orang bisa melestarikan gambut dengan pekerjaan-pekerjaan yang sederhana.
Tetap negara atau siapapun dalam mengelola suatu wilayah, khususnya di ekosistem rawa gambut, harus tetap belajar kepada masyarakat lokal. Karena masyarakat lokal sudah terbukti mampu mengelola wilayahnya, ya kan, sampai sekarang masih bisa bertahan hidup dan ekosistem rawa gambutnya masih bisa terjaga.
Peran kami sebagai ahli teknologi anyaman adalah membudidayakan lahan gambut yang subur dan juga mengembangkan proses material purun sedemikian rupa dia bisa tahan putus, tahan kutu, tahan air, dan tahan api. Kami juga mempelajari teknik anyam masyarakat sekitar sehingga kami juga ikut bisa mengembangkan teknik anyamannya. Harapan kami, lahan gambut yang berfungsi sebagai paru-paru dunia bisa dijaga sepanjang masa sebagai warisan agung Indonesia kepada peradaban dunia.
Dengan kreativitas dan inovasi, kita bisa membantu melestarikan lahan gambut di Indonesia.
I think that's all from me. What I'm trying to say is that we are looking for future collaboration. I will be in Japan on June. If you have any proposal to collaborate, I'm looking forward to meet with you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your very good presentation. So moving on, we are going to invite Mukura to share with us your product. So the screen is yours now, Mukura-san.
Hello, can you see my screen? Okay.
I can see you, but I have not seen you sharing the screen.
Right.
Yes.
Sure. All right. First of all, I am Stevia. I'm the head of marketing for Mukura. And so today I'm presenting the product that we actually won the Good Design Award back in 2021. So this is one of our latest product. We collaborated with Bapak Irianto Purnomo Hadi to create this product. Before that, I would like to actually share with you what is Mukura and what do we produce. So basically, Mukura is a ventilation block manufacturers. We have been around since the 1985. And if some of you might not have heard ventilation block, that's not surprising. What is ventilation block really, right? There are a few functions of ventilation blocks, and we are trying to actually push further the usage of it. And first is ventilation. This is a picture of the Thailand embassy actually in Jakarta. So they use our ventilation block in the highest in the top floor of their structure. And the reason why they do this is because they want to make sure that the air, so usually it's like this. A lot of the people think that if you want to actually make sure that your building is cool, you try to close your building as much as you could, so that the hot air, the cold air inside from the air conditioning doesn't escape. However, actually, if you look at a lot of the subtropic and tropic architectures back in the past, you go into the structure, you find that these buildings are actually very cooling. And this is one of the reasons. For example, in this Thai embassy, they actually use ventilation blocks in the topmost floor of the building, because they want to make sure that the hot air inside the building actually escape out, because the hot air is actually lighter than the cold air, so they will actually surface up. And the problem is, if you don't actually have proper ventilation in the system, then the air is actually will get trapped in the building and cannot escape. That's the main function of a ventilation block. The second function is basically lighting. So basically, ventilation block in itself, it's a little bit like glass block. They create, they are able to connect us as a human inside the structure with the sunlight outside of the structure. Because of that, you will use less lighting inside the building. And this actually becomes increasingly more important, especially during the pandemic, because nowadays people really think about the ventilation inside the buildings, and they also think about, like, how can I get more sun exposure without really going out there? So to our surprise, actually, during this pandemic, our sales actually shot up, especially in housings areas, because people buy in small batches because they want to find that their homes to have more sunlight and more ventilation. The last three functions that I mentioned after this is basically pushing forward what the ventilation block could be. For example, the facade for exterior usage of a building. We hope that we could actually use ventilation block in facade, because obviously you can, one, not just as a decorative elements, but you could also play around this, the usage of it to save energy. For example, in the Saudi, they actually use ventilation block as the screen to block the wind from the sand if there's a sandstorm. And because of that, you actually lower a lot the burden of the building. And that's why the construction of the building itself can be done in a way more cost-effective manner, because you have this extra layer of facade, or And that's why this is something that we try to push for. If an area actually have a lot of wind, it's one way actually to create a layer between your building and the outer skin of the building itself. The next function is basically as room partition. This is something that we see a lot. It's in Indonesia, for example. For example, this is the Starbucks Bali Dewata. This is installed in the largest Starbucks in Southeast Asia. We manufacture the breeze blocks especially for them. They use it all across the buildings, and this is one of them that I purposely showcased here because they retain the model of one of our Good Design Award products as well back in 2018 as a way to actually screen all the staircase that they have in the structure. And this new model basically creates a hidden feeling that you don't really see the structure, the staircase structure behind the wall, but then you can still get the lighting, you can still get the shadow, you can still get the air circulation. So you don't really have to close down the entire room for just the staircase. And imagine if you close down the entire staircase just like that, it actually feels very stuffy. So this is one way. A lot of people use this even in residential as well, especially if they have studio house, they have smaller scale house. And this kind of function, not just to hide the stairs, sometimes also to hide where you actually dry or the laundry area basically, because then you need sunlight for your laundry, and you also need a wind for your laundry. And so this is one of the functions. Also in kitchen, if it's apartment, a lot of people use this function in the kitchen. So when somebody cooks, you don't really actually see them, and you can kind of partition the flow of the exhaust out as well. And lastly, this is more like as a decorative element. It's gaining more and more popularity. So we combine our ventilation blocks with furniture. So it serves as a furniture accessories. This is a hotel in Kempinski. It's a Kempinski hotel in Jakarta. So the entire hotel lobby and the restaurants area use our ventilation block as one of the design elements in that. Yep. Then another question, design questions that came up usually is like, why do you choose ceramics to actually produce the ventilation blocks and not other materials? These are actually two materials that we think of as well. Why don't we use concrete, for example? The cost of producing a ventilation block using concrete is actually much cheaper. But then we realized that over time, within like 1 year to two, you'll see the concrete actually mold. And this creates high maintenance costs. And if it's a commercial area, there will be opportunity costs of closing down the area to actually renovate the place. And we noticed that even using ceramic ventilation blocks, the overall cost of maintenance is a lot lower, even though the first acquisition cost is much higher. But there is a trend in the F&B industry within especially the multi-chain restaurants. They start to approach us because they think that first when they heard the price, they thought like, wow, it's like significantly more expensive because it's double, almost triple the price of concrete ventilation blocks. But then they think about the maintenance, the opportunity cost, then they decided to choose our products. And this has become increasingly popular among the restaurants. And they continue buying these products because the very important part, which is the low maintenance cost of our product. The second material that we thought about is basically wood. Why can't we use wood to actually produce ventilation blocks? One is expensive. It's getting increasingly more difficult to get sustainable wood. We want to make sure that we're aligned with the SDG goals. So all of our products are manufactured in a green manner, like we actually flow our production wastewater to a pool of fish pond. So we make sure that the fish don't die. If the fish died, something is wrong with the water. So that's something that we always retain in our factory and make sure that the entire production system is actually environment friendly, including our packaging. And wood we think it's very, very difficult, and it's very, very expensive to source sustainable wood today. And there's another part, especially in Indonesia, because there's a lot of flooding here in Indonesia. If we actually use wood and the ventilation block becomes the structure, the wood actually is very prone to break over time. And so it has still high maintenance costs. Also, white ants is another problem if we use wood. And that's why we choose using ceramics to actually produce beyond and all of our ceramics ventilation blocks. And so, just to showcase a bit of journey of what we make, right? So the first time we won GMARC is in 2018 with this design. Many of you might have seen a lot of ventilation blocks out there. The models are actually quite classics. And we try to actually push the limit. How can we actually create a model that can fit to different kinds of architecture and is easily installable? So like the design needs to be versatile, and you can play around with it. So we come up with this model in which you can actually, if you actually install this, not only it serves as a rain screen in your building, two, you can also have some privacy, because if you install this from the outside, you cannot see inside, but the inside you can see outside. Obviously, if you take very close look to the brisk block, then you can still peek over. But then if you are actually standing far behind from the building, that you won't really see that. So this is the first product that we actually won GMARC, and we look at brisk block at this time as a single unit of block. And let me tell you what we found in the market and the challenges that we see. This is what we did during one of our surveys, because Naha is one of the places that use a lot of brisk blocks, but most of them are actually concrete brisk blocks. So, and consistently all across the world, where we go, in Taiwan, some parts of Europe, especially the Netherlands, Indonesia, Southeast Asia use a lot of ventilation blocks. We see these similar problems in which that installation of this brisk block is not seamless. You always need to have some sort of pillars to actually support the brisk blocks. And from an architecture standpoint, you can make a better design by not having these pillars, because it just doesn't look nice. So we think about like, how can we actually solve this using a simple design fix? So we come up with this Beyond. This Beyond series, as opposed to looking at a ventilation block as a single unit, we look at a ventilation block as a system, as a way to install. So among these 7 models, the first one from the left to right is a square model, which is the very basic one. And then the other one is basically a smaller single unit. And then the triangle, then the corner, we make rounded corner, like sharp edges corner. These are actually to fix that pillar issues. We want ventilation blocks. Once they are installed in the building, you can see it as a system, and you no longer see the boundaries among the installation. And we believe with this kind of application, we will be able to see and push more design actors to actually think about a building. For example, when you create a facade, you can make a cube, you can make a dome, you can make many kinds of design using this basically 7 single units. And this is where Beyond actually won the last year's Good Design Award. And this is to basically close. I want to show that this is our hope, that we could create any kinds of wall with Beyond. And to quote from Toy Story, it's why we call this Beyond. It's because we hope that this will make brisk blocks to infinity and beyond. And through this, I'd like to say thank you, and maybe a little bit different with the former presentation. For us, we hope that bridge blocks through this forum can be used in many households. And because we make the blocks so easy to install, we hope that every single household, just like in Indonesia, they could go online and they could just buy a few blocks of our bridge blocks and install it at their place, at their home, according to whatever their dream is. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Stevia, for your presentation. So coming up next, I would like to invite Mr. Marvin from Rekatana Construksindo for introducing their product.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone, and good afternoon. My name is Marvin from Rekatama Construksindo, and today we would like to talk about our design process for the CSW, or Cakra Selaras Wahana, our latest project that was finished, completed, and then we got the Good Design Award and also the Good Design Indonesia Best Award. Okay, the project is located in Jakarta, and this is the picture of the map of Jakarta, and that's the location. It's located at Kebayoran Baru. Kebayoran Baru is one of Jakarta's cultural heritage area. It was the first satellite city of Jakarta, located only 4.5 kilometers south of Jakarta. Originally, to be considered a satellite city, it has to be more. It has to be further. But at that time, in 1948, 1940, post our independence, there was a big need of housing. So the only available plot was around the Kebayoran Baru. So hence they decided that this would be their first satellite city. It was designed in 1948 by first Indonesian city planner, Mr. Susilo. The area was well known for its Tokyo district. So when we started the design, we always look at the history of the place, because especially when the area has a heritage background, because we want to know what's the history. We want to know what's the original identity, what it is now, and what can it be in the future, without forgetting about its history of the place. So, looking at the timeline from its conception in 1948 by Mr. Susilo, which designed this intersection using there was a roundabout and this CSW intersection, and that roundabout is currently not seen anymore. Well, not currently, but back then in 2019, when we did this project, when we started this project, the roundabout was not there anymore. So that's one of the things that got into our attention. So CSW, or originally known as Central District Tingwedrabo, intersection is located at Kebayoran Baru. Because of the massive development during the last decade, the historic intersection was losing its identity. So inspired by the concept of the ASEAN Secretariat building and the original city plan of Kebayoran Baru, the design reintroduced CSW as Cakra Selaras Wahana. Cakra, a circular shaped pedestrian bridge, represent the lost roundabout in the historical city plan. And Selaras is harmonious with the surrounding, and Wahana means transit space for connecting the BRT and MRT users. Will be talked about later in the presentation. Some existing problems between 2016 and 2019 in the CSW intersection is disintegrated. It is disintegrated, not non-human centered public facilities. The interchange is passed by BRT or Transjakarta, the name of the company, or the name of the bus, and then corridor 13, west-east flyover busway. This is the flyover, as you can see on the picture on the left. And then it's also passed by a year-old MRT North-South Railway. However, the existing CSW Transjakarta bus shelter here, you can see at the top. This is the close-up picture seen from the MRT station, which is located at 23 meters height from the street level all the way to the top. Only has stair access and no direct connection with the Asian MRT station, located less than 100 meters north of the bus stop. So there's a lost opportunity to integrate the two transportation system. So in 2019, a public competition was held by the DKI Jakarta or the city government and Transportasi Jakarta, which is the owner of the terminal. The goals of the competition were to connect the movement of MRT and BRT Transjakarta users to integrate, to harmonize the design with the existing situation, to create commercial area which will then add to non-fare box income for PT Transportasi Jakarta as the operator, of course. So we started thinking big, thinking about the macro design principles. What are the design principles? We thought that the design has to be human-centered design, putting people first, pedestrian and the users of public transportation, rather than the motorized vehicles. And then it also need to be intermodal network, prioritizing good and user-friendly accessibility to transit and switching modes of transportation. Green network to regenerate the concept of garden city, which is the original idea of Kebayoran Baru Historical City Plan. And socio-economic network, forming a CSW area that functions as a terrace for Jakarta citizens to interact and boosting the economy around the area. Reconnect the past, reinvent the future. Respecting the historical context and reconsider the possible future development. So that's the macro design framework. What we did race crossing to make the design more human-centered. As the application of humanist paradigm, the circular shape of the chakra or the lost roundabout is also shown at the pedestrian level. The pedestrian path is then raised. It becomes a speed table. It's a safety feature for the pedestrian to cross the intersection, because it's quite a large intersection. When we first came to the intersection to do a survey, we felt a bit intimidated by how big the intersection is. Are we safe to cross? Are we going to make it, or is it, the red light going to is it going to stay green when we crossed? And so all that considered, and so we did the race crossing as one of the solution, and also building as a second gate, because of course there's already the first gate of Kebayoran Baru, which is the statue at Senayan, and then which represent the identity of the Garden City and relationship with the Senayan roundabout, which is the main gate. And then the future development, of course, we thought it would be nice and ideal if the surroundings buildings or development can open up their garden and make it into private-owned public space, which at that point we started by proposing, what if the ASEAN garden over here open up and make it into a public plaza as a symbol of transparency and democracy, of course. Okay, and then after that macro design thinking, we go to the building itself, or the massing concept, how we think microly, how we think in a more specific way. And then we came up with this ASEAN Secretariat building, which is located facing the CSW intersection. It was designed by Mr. Suyudi, Indonesian modern architecture pioneer and previous half century. Suyudi responded to the CSW roundabout, the lost roundabout at that point, created an L letter shaped building but then that intersection lost its roundabout, of course, was then responded. And then the missing roundabout means the loss of identity. To represent the CSW roundabout, we recreated that circular form as a symbol of unity that refines the existing massive infrastructure also. And then the circular shaped mass is pulled in 3 directions to reconnect, to connect and to provide functions. The mass provides new perspective also for the surroundings. And then the mass vertically connecting the elevated busway with the road below. The mass width is spaced sufficiently to respect the surroundings, because we are in the end located in a public area, and then it is very near to the plot of other development. So, and then respecting the cultural heritage, the facade is inspired by floating design of concept of the Asian building. So we tried to make a modern interpretation of the ASEAN building for the facade. So here is the functions. So at top there is the MRT bus shelter, BRT bus shelter, and then that's the ASEAN building is over here. This is the MRT station. This is the CSW transport hub. Over here there is the existing stair, which originally the only means to connection between the road level to the 23 meters above bus terminal. And then there's a north-south BRT station shelter, and then there is the chakra or the circular sky bridge, and there is the MRT BRT connection happens here. After the MRT sky bridge, you will then arrive at that point, and then you can reach the chakra area, the transport hub, and then in the end you can also go all the way up to the bus terminal up in the corridor 13. Here's the exploded axonometry of the building. All the functions in it. We also provided some performance spaces, so it not only just a transport hub, but it can also be a performance area, and it can also become a cultural hub. So this was the rendering we did for the competition. That's the first view you will see once you exit the train from MRT, looking towards the corridor 13. And one of the things that we also found when we first surveyed the area was that there's no place around the intersection where you can admire the heritage building of ASEAN Secretariat. So one of the goals of the design was also to create a new place where you can have a new platform to enjoy that, to enjoy the building, the ASEAN Secretariat building. So this is the imagined hub. This space would be the first space you see if you enter from the MRT Sky Bridge. If you come from the MRT, and then you will enter the building looking at this area. And this is another space where you can enjoy the MRT trains, and then also, of course, looking at the heritage building of MRT Secretariat. This happened in the 3rd floor, which we plan to become the food and beverage area. So the section of the building, there's the bus terminal down below, and then second floor is where you arrive, where you connect with the MRT Sky Bridge, and then 3rd area, more commercial. Of course, there are commercials in the 2nd floor, more commercials on the 3rd floor, and then you go another level to go to the existing but newly renovated Corridor 13 bus shelter. The construction pictures, again, because this was done on top of street, public street, and then also public median, public pedestrian area. So we have to be very careful with the placement of columns. Not too many spots where we can place the columns, because not the place was not very the pedestrians where we had to take some of the space to put the column is not very wide, so we have to be very, very precise on putting the column. And also why we choose steel, because most of the structure can be done in a workshop, and then when it's ready, shipped and then installed, usually during at night, when it's less crowded, so it doesn't have to affect the traffic too much in this area, because it's quite a heavily traffic area. And then also we chose the finishing material to be very light. So originally we were thinking perforated metal, but then after we got the project, we started doing research again, and at the end we decided to use a membrane to cover up the facade of the building, because the heavier the facade, then the heavier the structure, and then the more pedestrian and street level will be affected by all the structures that's getting bigger. So that's the Corridor 13 bus flyover, and that's the train station. That's the MRT train station. That's the ASEAN Secretariat, and that's the newly finished building. Seen from above, this is the when it was during construction. Not all the membranes were closed yet, and that's when finished. So we tried to make the building as light as possible. Not only the weight of it, but also the visual of it. It has to be light, and from the inside, it is also well lit, and most of the building were open so that the air can flow freely throughout the building. That's the view from the median crossing the street, and the facade, because it's membrane, so we can put LED lighting behind it, and then the idea is to express different occasions that happen in the country or in the city during at certain times. Like, for instance, when this picture was taken, it was during our Independence Day. So so it turns out it was showing red and white color LED light. So another view from the intersection. That's the view from the chakra. And then we added elevators so that disabled people can use, wheelchair users or elder people can use the bus shelter and also the facility. Another view from the chakra looking at the building. That's the first view that you will see when you enter from the MRT station. MRT Skybridge, sorry. Another view of the area. All this open, so light and air flow freely. Of course, when we designed it, we didn't think that we will have to have a very large structure like this, but because of the condition, because where we can put the column, so we have to have quite a large girder to support the building and the roof. But in the end, it turned out to be quite interesting to have an exposed girder like this. That's the view from the third floor, where you can see the ASEAN Secretariat building and also the MRT train station. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Marvin, for your presentation. It's a great presentation. And finally, I would like to invite Mr. Iwan from Continental Panji Pratama. So please share your screen and present.
Thank you. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Iwan. I'm from President Luggage Company based in Jakarta. Our brand is as a luggage company. We call it a President brand. To start this presentation today, I will briefly explain about the history of President brand. Okay, our brand actually started in 1960 by a company in Japan. The company name is Masusaki Japan. They are specializing in making attaché case from the hard shell. So in 1970, we bought the brand from them and established our factory in Indonesia, which is in Jakarta. And then we are selling in our domestic market under President brand. Until 1988, we are trying to export our product especially in Asia countries, and then we expand to Middle East area also. In 2000, we are a joint venture with a Japanese company called Hinomoto to producing luggage accessories. And 2005, we also expand our business in China for entering the China market itself. There we keep doing the export and local until today. And today's presentation, I would like to focusing on the latest product, we call it Kubico, which is won the GMARC 2021, also GDFBS 2021. To explain about the Kubico, I would like to first explain about the background, why we create the Kubico. In the increasing mobile lifestyle of today's travelers, we find many people need to be productive even when they are traveling. So we have realized that waiting time in the airport or in the train station sometimes could be boring, where it takes a long time to wait for the check-in, waiting for the boarding, for example. So we think it would be very good if we have a comfortable station for us to sit down and rest or walking. This is how the idea of Kubico came out. Let me show you the short video of the Kubico. Okay, as you can see in the video, Kubico consists of two sizes. We have a 20-inch, which we call it cabin size, and we have a 24-inch, we call it as cube. Cube, like physically the product looks like. That's why we call it cube. Now we're talking about the features of the Kubico. The first one we would like to emphasize, we call it mobile sofa. when we design this product, especially the cube, the height of the case itself is almost same as the height of the chair. So means you can sit comfortably on the top of it. Also, we make the top surface is completely flat. So it's very comfortable for you to sitting on above of it. Also, we design so the product can be set up to maximum load 120 kg. In order to support the mobile sofa, we have to use the locking wheel system in profile to prevent luggage sliding while sitting down. The cabin size is designed very special, so in order can be stacked and locked on the top of the cube, as you can see on this photos. With this stack and lock, we have really good features, which is you can use one hand to traveling around. So imagine if you are in the airport, after arrive in the airport, you take out your 2 luggage and maybe one more extra attaché case, a backpack. So with this combination, you just need one hand to carry 2 pieces of luggage. So it's very comfortable for you when you use during the traveling. When they stack together, the cube and the cabin, also we design the height of these 2 cases almost same as the work desk. So means you can, when you're waiting in the airport, you can just put your laptop and then it's very conveniently you can work. Also, at the same time, with the stacking together, you can use as mobile table. You can maybe take a rest and drink some coffee or tea, whatever, during the airport. We also add one more features. We have designed a customized packing cube on this cube size, so you make more easy for you to organize your traveling goods during the traveling. On the cabin size, we have one more features which is quite unique. It's our patented product. We call it MetaZip. MetaZip is a hidden expandable system. So meaning if you don't use the expandable, you can hide it. You can hide the zipper, so people will not see. Anytime you want to use the expandable, you just open the zipper, like in these photos, left and right is as comparison. These are the color of the cubicle. We have midnight blue, we have white, and also black. So the conclusions, cubicle luggage is concept will appeal to: one is mobile executive who wish to maximize their productivities while on the move. Second, mobility impaired people who need to constantly sit and down for rest while traveling. Last one, family traveling with young kids who always struggle to find rest for young children. Thank you. That's my presentation of the cubicle from Precision Luggage Company.
Thank you very much, Iwan-san. It's a great information that you provided for your product. So due to the time constraint, we are going to omit the Q&A question. However, if any of the participants have a question, please feel free to input to our survey at the end of the meeting. Also, you can also send an email to our email address so that we can forward this question to our presenters today. So in coming to the conclusion, I would like to take a screenshot. So if possible, we're gonna ask all of our participants to turn on a camera and give us a big smile. So please, you have the prepared. Okay, so I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. One more time. Okay, so I'll count 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so I have received one question, and I would like to address this to our winners today. So after the winning of the 2021 Good Design Award, are there significant changes to your company in terms of sales or production developments? May I address this question to Mr. Marvin? You are on mute now.
Okay, well, thank you. I think the question is not very suitable for me to answer because the nature of our product it's a very specific product, and what we offering is a design service, and design services specifically for architecture and engineering is not easily exported, at least at this point, due to licensing and also permit and such. So, have we had any big impact? I think no direct impact yet, but for sure, got more exposure. We got better known in the market. More people know about our work. But if it's related to have we engaged to any new project after we won this competition or this award, due to this award, no, not yet. So yes, I think it's also because of the current condition with the pandemic, and exporting the design service is not a very economic solution also.
Thank you for your answer. Thank you very much. And how about you, Mr. Lim? I see that you have many collaboration with international companies, including Japan. After you winning the 2021 Good Design Award, is there a significant change to your company?
Yeah, I think it is, because maybe if for us who has been in the this kind of competition, we know that there are only two significant design award. There is one Red Dot Design Award, and the other one is Good Design Award. And the best thing about Good Design Award is that you are given a G Mark label, which is very well respected, whether in Japan or globally as well. So there is the thing. And when you ask me about how the business is like nowadays, especially after we won the Good Design Award, is first the GMAC label verify that we are a global player. But the other things that I believe all the winners here also agree is that it also shows the recognition or the design patent. Basically, you recognize our intellectual property, that this is the only design that we develop globally. Like us, what we show to the world nowadays is possible. If you have a panel, we'll give you a computational rendering or weaving, and then you could apply it anywhere, whether architecture, art, interior, furniture, you could do it. You no longer need to use very traditional way. We can use a computational design. This is what we try to say to the market, that there is this kind of intellectual property and there is this kind of patent. Market-wise, I believe at this point of time, we are still doing business with Dubai. We're doing business in America. So winning the Good Design Award in a way to say that, yes, it reconfirms that we are indeed a global player. So I hope we could still extend this collaboration, whether doing a talk, whether a business extension. I myself will be in Japan on June. Let me know if we could meet up and discuss new collaboration for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lim, for your share. How about Mr. Iwan? Do you have any thoughts on the question?
Okay. This question is a bit hard for us to answer. As you know, luggage business hit very badly because of the pandemic. Nobody traveling, nobody buy the luggage. So, but at least I can feel the difference slightly in the December, for example. The sale is picking up. So I hope the rest of 2020 will be good. I mean, the pandemic will be getting less and less after that, so people can traveling around, and that means the luggage business will coming back. That's what I can say at this moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Iwan. And Stevia, I see you come back, and during your presentation, I noticed that you are the company that actually win the Good Design Award twice in 2018 and 2021. Yes. I think I think after the winning, it bring some change to your development process. Can you share with us your thoughts on this question?
Sure. Thank you. Yes. So basically, I think one of the things that I personally and our team feel deeply about getting GMARC label, and which is why it leads to like our application next round. It's very similar to what Pak Lim mentioned from BioLiving, right? One of the things as if we are design actors, right? Intellectual property is not something that everyone adheres to, especially in some countries, developing markets, especially. Prior to this, actually, a lot of our designs are copied, despite the fact that we have the patent rights, and it's not that easy to actually follow through every single copied designs. But after having GMARC, we actually basically announced globally that this design is owned by us, and let's try to push the boundaries by competing in a fair manner, right? And I think that's something that we deeply felt, and we felt that it's a respect that we gave to the designers that work with us, and that's why we try to actually apply to the next GMARC as well when we have new design of products. And what we also like about GMARC is that we are able to reevaluate what are our mistakes in the past. And I mean, like design challenges, right? And then it motivates, especially for designers, it especially motivates them that look like this one won GMARC, this one doesn't work, doesn't win, like why is that? And then we start to evaluate. And in terms of market, it helps us a lot when it comes to export market, especially to the Japanese market. A lot of architects, for example, they learn about us through the Good Design Award platforms, the websites, and the socialization. So that's something that is very helpful for us, because then it marks an important milestone to our company. And because of this, we actually try to apply to other international awards as well, to reinforce the fact that the award is really helping out and fostering the design environment in our company. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Lim, I see you raise your hand. You have any addition?
Yeah. Maybe this is also I want to add up another point with for Stevia as well, that we both feels that in the past, when we talk about sustainability and design, it usually look ugly and it's not acceptable in the market. So winning a Good Design Award is a way to say that even though sustainability is like the forefront or the ideas of our design, but now it's already well accepted and it could win an award. So environmental solution, climate change issues, I think it needs more attention, and we are happy that we win the award because we care about sustainability.
Thank you for your sharing, and thank you for answering it. We are going to the end of today's meeting. To conclude, I would like to invite Dr. Mita Farid, Director of Export Product Development, Ministry of Trade of the Republic of Indonesia will deliver the closing remark.
Dear Mr. Kazuhiko Amagai, Project Officer of Capacity Building, ASEAN-Japan Center and team. Dear Ms. Sumura, Japan Institute of Design Promotion. Good Design Award winners from Indonesia, Kubiko, Mukura Bion, Eka Jalin, and Chakra Selaras Wahana. Distinguished participants from other ASEAN countries, all participants, ladies and gentlemen. Very good afternoon to all of you. I wish to congratulate ASEAN-Japan Center and Japan Institute of Design Promotion for a great arrangement of this event, ASEAN Design Forum. The Ministry of Trade of the Republic of Indonesia have committed to increase the national export by focusing on diversifying products to be more value-added and competitive in the global market. We are aware that we have to be responsive in order to meet the market requirements. One of the strategies is to create products based on design and adaptive to the global aspect of sustainability in economy as well as digital economy. We have acknowledged that the good design product selection system was started with the idea of refining good and unique design to gain market competitiveness. Therefore, we believe that Good Design Indonesia, which is connected to GMARK Japan, would be the gateway of global market for Indonesian creative and innovative products. Since the first competition of Good Design Indonesia held in 2017, we have recorded the success stories of several winners in penetrating the market. For instance, Pinto Craft and Ethnic that has successfully exported their products to Japan and Singapore. Kekean Wasta Gallery, in which the products have captured the interest of French top designers, and many more. In this occasion, we would like to thank ASEAN-Japan Center and Japan Institute of Design Promotion for sharing the idea of how the good design gives advantage not only for the user but also for the business itself. We also appreciate the strong support from AGC and GDP to promote the products of GDA winners through online forum and showcase to the audience not only in Japan but also outside of Japan. We hope that this cooperation and partnership will continue and bring the benefits for all parties. Thank you very much and have a very good afternoon.
Thank you, Dr. Farid. And thank you very much all for your participations. Please cooperate with our questionnaire I will send in the chat box. We also gonna send it to you after the event. Thank you very much. We are looking forward to see you again.